Thank you. In music, Rhombus. I do contracts. I don't sell anything. I do operations. So I'm on the back end. Once we get the contract, I get us the money. So I process everything. Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy it. I've been there for 7 years. I started with Marketo and we got acquired. And so I just got adobified. Yeah. I don't know the right word for it. And now I'm working in this corporate world, which is so interesting because Marketo is very customized. Oh, God. All right. Ready?
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
One more time, here we go. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you. And let's give a round of applause for Allison and Michael on drums. Thank you. Allison is filling in for Chris Kimbler today, so we welcome her with our open hearts, and it's so good to see you, kiddo. Thanks so much for jumping in there.
Thanks.
It's great to see everybody here today. You're at the Ventura Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Bonnie Rose, and it's a pleasure to see you, and it's nice to know that our folks are watching online as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and we'll do some announcements. Here we go. All right, so everything that I'm about to say is going to show up on our webpage, which is www.venturacsl.org. We also have a concierge desk back through that door there. If you'd like any information for that, that would be wonderful. We have a flower dedication this morning, and the flowers are for, are we getting slides back there, y'all? Okay, good. All righty. Let me hold off on the flower dedication for just a moment. Let's see. Science and Spirituality is coming up on August 20th, third Wednesday, and they are discussing consciousness. There we go. Now I can think. Science and Spirituality, August 20th, 6:30 to 8:30. All right. We have a flower dedication this morning. The flowers this morning are dedicated to David Fatika. Who knows why we're dedicating to David? For these beautiful name tags that he assists us in making them to help keep our congregation green and also to provide fun and community building. So thank you, David, for that. Thank you for not only bringing the reusable name tags to VCSL, but for sharing your time and skills with all of us. Thank you for your rippling gift. And so it is. Yay. The choir is rehearsing after service, Hearts and Harmony Choir. They rehearse from 11:30 to 12:30, and everyone is welcome. We are in the midst of an outreach project. Look at that. It's grown since last week, hasn't it? Yeah, it's beautiful. So we're collecting backpacks and school supplies for Casa Pacifica. The flyers are in the foyer and showing what they need, and they're in the social hall. And the last day to bring in your items is August 31st. These go to youth that are at risk. And we have Gail to thank for this. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right, y'all. So I'm talking a little bit about this in the message today, but how many of you were here when Freddie Ravel came and played? Right, a bunch of you, right? So many people have been saying how much they enjoyed that and they want him to come back. So we are doing a special event with Freddie Ravel on November 8th. Save the date. We're going to need lots of help in getting people to fill this joint and getting people to come and hear him. He is a wonderful jazz musician who's played all over the world with all kinds of great artists. Also, he's playing at The Grape, our local jazz establishment here in Ventura, and that's happening on August 30th. There's flyers for that out there, okay? We'll keep you posted about Freddie Ravel, and if you would like to sign up to help with the marketing team, we could really use your help. When he was here, I heard all kinds of ideas about, we should do this, we should do that. Now's your chance, people. Now's your chance to do what we think we should do, okay? So sign up for the marketing team. We'll get it all organized, and we'll get you squared away. I think that's all I have for now. So, Bill, would you like to come forward and give us a youth message? I know. I hear you. You're doing great, as always.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sneak past.
Sure.
Going to help me today? Awesome. I've got at least one helper.
Good. Yay, Dalton.
Thanks, Dalton. All right. So as Bonnie said, I'm Bill Hadris with Youth and Family. Got Dalton here to help me today. My question, as always, is where would you like improvement in your life? Take a second, maybe close your eyes, take a breath, and think it through. Where would you like improvement in your life, Dalton?
Probably a stronger bond between each family member.
Lovely. Better bonding in the family. Strength. You know, it seems like as time goes on, when we want to improve ourselves, it can seem harder and harder, maybe even impossible. So how do we overcome this impossibility? What do we need to do? Do you know?
No.
No. Okay. Well, one of the easiest things to do is to be wrong. Be teachable or humble. Or maybe you'll hear more about surrender later today.
Okay. Oh, wait, sorry.
Being humble creates an inner freedom from having to protect those parts that we try to hide from ourselves and others. For many, we fail at something that is important to us, and then our self-esteem plummets because we tied our self-worth to those things. So failure doesn't mean there is something wrong with you. A win or a loss is only temporary as long as you keep playing the game. So remember, you are more than your experience. You think of yourself as an iceberg. There's a lot more to you than you ever perceive or in your appearances. So in order to grow, you learn. And in order to learn, you have to be teachable. To be teachable, you have to be humble. So one more question. How can you be humble?
You be humble.
Be humble.
Good answer. Good answer.
Well, I would say to do that, start by losing something you don't want. Choose to lose unhappiness. Choose to lose judgment. Choose to lose victim mentality. You can lose it just like you found it. Or, if that gives you trouble, create a ritual that'll help you do that and follow that each time. So I invite you all to repeat after me. I am gentle and loving to myself.
I am gentle and loving to myself.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part All righty, let's hear from Lacey, our practitioner, and she will lead us in prayer.
Good morning. Please rise. We know there's only one life, and that life is God's life. And God's life is the life of everyone, everywhere, all the time, no matter what. God is in each and every one of us. And we know that that is all about God. And that means that we're part of God and all about God as well. Excuse me. And so with that, I pray that for all of us there is happiness, goodness, and health. And I release these words into the law, knowing as I speak them, they are already so. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. And so we let it be. Thank you, Lacey. And as people gently sit down and continue to breathe deeply, moving into that spaciousness that is who we really are, that divine place within us, that place that is unassailable, that place that is perfect energy that responds to every situation with grace and love and kindness, that place within us that is strength itself, that is omnipresent, the place that connects all of us as one. Bless you. Let us recognize that blessing right now. Let us know that this is who we truly are. And let us not only know it for ourselves, because truly there is only one of us. So if we know this truth about oneness for ourselves, then we know it for everyone, for all beings everywhere. Beings that are part of the animal kingdom, those which we call inanimate. The whole world, the whole cosmos is this I am. So let us sing together. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. Let's all cough together. 1, 2, 3, everybody. Coughing together. Oh, it's going to be that kind of a Sunday. Yay! Oh, the I am is here in all of this, how wonderful it is. And in that spirit of grace and gratitude for everything, let us breathe in deeply And then exhale, gently opening our eyes in love and in service to what is as it is, and so it is. Namaste, everybody. Thanks for playing. Take it away, Allison. And let's give Allison some love. And Michael as well. There you go.
Here. I might have been a singer who sailed around the world, a gambler who wins millions, spent it all on girls. I might have been a poet who walked upon the moon, a scientist who tells the world I discovered something new. I might have been a king and been the one to end a war, a criminal who drinks champagne and never could be caught. But among your books, among your clothes, among the noise and fuss, I surrender, let it go, and I can stop and go further for happiness. I will not turn again, because my heart has found its home. Everyone I'll never meet, and the friends I won't now make, the adventures that there could have been, and the risks I'll never take. Among your books, among your clothes, among the noise and fuss, I surrender, let it go. I can't stop no further for happiness. I will turn and love again, because my heart has found its home. I will turn and love again, because my heart has found its home.
Just taking it all in, people. Good to see you. Oh, Lord have mercy. I do not want to talk about surrender today, do I? See, I get a little southern when the going gets tough, I get southern. But I ain't going to pay that. No, never mind. I'm going to go ahead and plunge right in. Oh, goodness. Well, the reason I'm talking about surrender is that this actually came up from a conversation, some love. If you're wondering who or what a practitioner is, they are the healing arm of the church. They pray for all of you. They pray for specific prayer requests. They pray for everybody just in general. They pray for the world. They pray for everything. They are a beautiful, beautiful blessing in the spiritual center, and we are so grateful to have them and so grateful to have so many of them. They come to us in multitudes, and it's speaking with them about prayer, and we were all putting our prayer requests out there. And my prayer request was, please pray that I am strong enough to surrender. That I can be strong, yeah, I know, wrong. Yeah, that I can be strong enough to surrender. And you know what happens when you pray for surrender? Things that you wish to surrender to, that you do not wish to surrender to, come up. They come up in your face. You have to deal with them. So thank you, practitioners. You must be doing your job because you're stretching me this week. And for those of you who are not familiar with that term, it's something that we use here, a term that we use here that came from my friend Nipun Mehta, our friend Nipun Mehta, who founded a global service organization called Service Space. And I've spent much time with him and their organization, some of it in India, studying at the Gandhi Ashram, and have learned about this idea called heartivism. One of the main principles of heartivism that I think is so relevant now is, what is a heartivist? A heartivist is someone who responds to the suffering of tall order, right? Yeah. I said that on a Zoom call the other night, and at the end we all get to talk about all kinds of stuff, and someone said, Bonnie, would you revisit that business about not needing an enemy? Fortunately, they didn't get to me, but there wasn't enough time for me to speak because I was clutching at straws. But as I was thinking about it, I thought that really the main thing about this is that, or anything, without needing an enemy, even the inner suffering that we do without making an enemy out of that this is a paradox, or a pair of ducks. A paradox. And if we know that we're dealing with a paradox, there's often an element of deep mystical truth that is too hard for the ego to understand. And so a heartivist responds to the suffering of the world without needing an enemy. And I'm wondering if we could just do an inner check to see if we have an enemy anywhere. It could be a condition, it could be a person, it could be a part of ourselves that we are making into an enemy. And do we really need that enemy? Some of the words in this talk that is forming as I speak it seems to be going in a slightly different direction. Some of the words of this talk will help us make that discovery. So I'm going to start with an allegory, a teaching story. And this is the story of an egg, a carrot, and a coffee bean walked into a bar. No, wrong story. Okay. Well, let's say they did walk into a bar, but it was actually a restaurant, and there was a chef there with 3 pots of boiling water. And the chef said, aha, food. And so he took the carrot in another pot of boiling water, and he took the coffee bean and put the coffee bean in another pot of boiling water. Well, what happened? He boiled them for 15 minutes, and at the end, the carrot came out all soggy and mushy. The egg went in thin-skinned, but it came out hard as a rock. The coffee bean did something else. The coffee bean dissolved to transform the boiling water and made something entirely new. The coffee bean is a heartivist. The allegory in this story is that sometimes when we're up against adversity, the boiling water represents adversity. When we're up against boiling water, the adversity, we collapse and we become soft and we become passive. Sometimes the boiling water meets a part of us that becomes hardened to what is going on. We become hard. We become intractable. But a heartivist, the coffee bean, when the coffee bean meets the boiling water, it does not collapse. It does not harden its heart. A heartivist uses inner work and new, delicious coffee or cocoa, something stimulating and inspiring. And one tool, I think, in the heartivist tool belt is the gentle art of surrender, of letting go. I'm hearing some sighing in this neighborhood over here. Let's all just breathe in and just let go. Sit here willing to open up to Spirit's message as it comes through each of us, however this message uniquely applies to you. Because I have seen in my own life, and I have seen in the lives of others and the people that I speak with, that surrender has a very, very bad reputation. Many people don't want to do it. And that is partially because of the way that the world defines surrender. We think of it as weakness, or we think of it as giving in or giving up. We think that but what if it means something else? What if, in a spiritual sense, surrender is none of these things? Surrender is a well-disguised source of courage and strength. There's another reason why surrender has a bad reputation. We humans want to cling so badly. The Buddha discovered this when he talked about attachment. What's his name? Rupert Spira says that clinging, the activity of clinging is the ego itself. There is something within us that wants to cling, that wants to hold on, that wants to control everything. One of my favorite quotes that I think of, we humans prefer a manageable complexity to an unmanageable simplicity. And I've looked into that quote, I've read about it a bit, and what I think it means from what I've researched on it is that we like to try and control stuff. We like, if it's complex and we can control it, that feels good to us. At least we can. The activity of trying to control everything is exhausting, but it does feel good to a certain extent because we think we are in charge. The unmanageable simplicity is letting go. Meaning that we let go, we surrender, we allow something greater than, as I said last week, something greater than the exhausted ego to guide us into the greatness. Not only greatness for ourselves, but greatness for all beings everywhere. We prefer unmanageable simplicity, the simplicity of letting go and letting God. Something that helps me when I start approaching the topic of surrender is the idea of redefining it, refining my definition of surrender. Surrender refined, it's the release of clinging that we just spoke about, the exhaustive activity of clinging. But what helps me the most is understanding that surrender, true surrender, is as we release our clinging, something within us can align with Source. We can align our spine, our Kundalini energy, our grace, our goodness with the Source of how Spirit wants to express through us. And that alignment with Source gives us infinite freedom in a way that is right for us, in a way that is right for all. As we align with Source and we trust that Source is in charge and we trust that all is well and that we are part of the manifestation of that well-being and that goodness for all beings everywhere, then we align with that power and that presence that gives us ultimate freedom. I was thinking about freedom in terms of clinging, and I was reminded of this metaphor with monkeys, and sometimes it's told in a violent way against the animal kingdom, which I try and refrain from doing here, but in order to catch a monkey, to give him his necessary medication, people will put a nut inside a box, and the monkey will put his hand in there, and then he'll cling to the nut and tries to pull out to get the nut, but his hand is in a fist. He's holding onto the nut so hard that he can't get his hand out of the box. But if he were to just let go, his hand would eat. Is anybody clinging to anything today? Yeah. What would it be like to just let go? And in the words of the Sedona method, could you let go? Meaning, is it possible to let go? Would you let go? Are you willing? When? How about now? How about later? No, how about now? Your life where you feel stuck, Can you let go, knowing that beyond the stuckness, beyond the clinging, each day is a new creation, a new moment for a fuller awareness of spiritual reality and a time for designing the new life we want to live? Surrender is part of that new creation, part of that fuller awareness of the spiritual reality, and part of designing that new life in partnership with the divine that we really want. That's a quote from Ernest Holmes. I would suggest if we're going to let go, that we start small, that you don't have to let go of the hardest thing, but that we let go of any clinging or frustration. Sometimes it's helpful to let go of stuff, things that are gathering dust in our homes and in our hearts. And it's also helpful to know that letting go doesn't necessarily mean letting go of something that you really like. Part of you might like it, but it can mean letting go of complaint, letting go of self-judgment, letting go of the need for approval, cleaning your closet. It can be any of those things. Letting go can give us freedom, can give us greater alignment, and that's something important to remember. I'm going to return to that allegory again about the carrot and the eggs and the coffee bean. Let's see if I got the right slide. Nope, that's not the one. Okay. The carrot, the eggs, and the coffee bean. So the carrot, as you may remember, went into the adversity, into the boiling water, and became soft, right? And I'm wondering if anybody here has felt too soft or too passive. One of the things that I was reminded of is the idea that sometimes when somebody feels like it's against us, it is hard for us to set boundaries. It is hard for us to stand firm in our truth and to understand that we're generally, if we're not doing that, we're looking for approval, or we're looking to make sure that everybody around us is happy. We're trying to take care of everybody's needs but our own. That is a form of holding on to the approval of others. And when I looked at that, I was reminded of a story, a time when somebody in my life actually did a great job of setting a boundary. And I wasn't happy about it because the boundary was about me. This was years ago, probably 15 years ago, when I had, as some of you know, back 15 years ago, I had a little touch of cancer, okay? I had a little cancer, went away. It's good. Glad about that. However, in the aftermath, there were a lot of people wanting to help me, and the one thing that I didn't want casseroles, I didn't want visits at my home, I just wanted someone to take my little dog Bartok, who was a puppy at the time, and to let him exercise with her dogs. And so I asked her, I called her up, I got brave, I don't like to ask for help. I called her up and I asked her, this is one of my, a really good friend actually, and she knows this story, she knows I tell it. I called her up and I asked her and I said, can my dog come over to your house and play with your dogs because I can't exercise them like I want to, because I'm recovering from surgery. And she said, no. As my nephew says, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, no. My other nephew says something else, but it's not church friendly, okay? So, anyway, she said no, and she said that she felt like it was too much responsibility, and she was afraid that he would fall into the swimming pool and something bad would happen. And I resisted for a while, and I was like, you do know that I have cancer, right? Okay? And then she still said no. Yeah, but I still have cancer. So, could you help me out here? Because, I've got, what? Cancer. Probably should not affirm that 20 times in a service, but anyway. She said no, but after we had this conversation, and I let go of the whole situation, and me, and for my sweet little doggy Bartok, and what that taught me is that if I can understand her no, then her yes is much stronger and much more meaningful, because I know if she's saying yes, it's because she really wants to say yes. So that was an indication, an example of somebody not turning into a soft carrot in the face of my boiling water that I was trying to guilt her into doing something that I wanted her to do. That was an example of somebody being strong, somebody being firm, somebody surrendering her need to please me and make sure that I knew that she was on my side, because she was on my side. And she did a fantastic job of demonstrating that. So is there a place in your life where you may be acting like a boiled carrot? Or you may be being too soft, a place where you're refusing to set a boundary, an appropriate boundary, in a kind and firm manner. Is there a place where the inner boiled carrot is coming out? And what is the source of that? Is it that you're seeking approval? Is it that you feel like you're only a good person if you're doing what somebody wants you to do, if you're filling a need? Is there a way that you can look at that and surrender that need and let it go and move into the greater need, which is for honesty and authenticity and truth? I want to talk about the egg for a minute. Is there a place in your life where you've become too hard, where your opinions have hardened about your personal life, or opinions about the world or other people, or your predictions about what is going to happen, what is going to go wrong? Years ago, again, I was doing this seminar with somebody, and it was actually a Sedona method where we were supposed to let go. We were supposed to let go, and I was planning to have a very difficult conversation with somebody in my life, and I was sure that it was going to be a horrible conversation. And the person I was working with said, "You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what that conversation is going to be like." I found that insulting. Because I knew. And I had to rehearse the possible conversation in my head 100 times to prepare for every possible contingency of what this person might say, and then what I would say back, and what this person would say, and then what I would say back. And then this person said, "I don't know what's going to happen." You know what happened? We didn't have the conversation. This person went away on their own. I didn't have to watch 20 YouTube videos about how to fire a friend, you know? They went away on their own. So that was me being too hard, being like the egg, making a dire prediction about the reality, future reality, and acting like that falsehood was true. What would it be to just let go of that and say, you know what? We don't really know what's going to happen. I think I felt everybody get a little tense when I said that. Yeah, I felt everybody's butt tighten just a bit, okay? Oh, wait, that was me, sorry. Okay. You know, when I saw this on Facebook, oh, Lord have mercy, blessed Redeemer in heaven, here I go getting Southern again. Oh, I saw this on Facebook, social media the other day, where everybody is complaining about everybody else. I saw somebody post what I thought was a brilliant post because it created Rumi's Field right there on Facebook. It said, "State an opinion out loud that others will not approve of." And I read it. I read everybody's opinion, and I waited for the fight. I waited for the snarking and the comments about, "You're so wrong to think that." But it wasn't that way at all. People were expressing nuances and subtleties about all of the polarizing issues in the world and how maybe this part of it was right, but this part didn't quite fit with them. And I thought, wow, this dude who wrote this question is creating Rumi's Field on Facebook, this place beyond wrongdoing and right doing, this place where nuance thrives, where people are really listening to each other and getting a different perspective. So if we're clinging to opinion and making ourselves hard about it, what if we could just let go a little bit of that hardness and just open up to at least listen to somebody who may think slightly differently than we do? You wanna? No, but are we willing? Are we willing to just let go of that clinging just a little bit and just let go? Just let go a little bit. See what happens. The last thing I want to talk about here is the idea of the coffee beans, where the coffee beans used adversity to allow emergence of something new. Where do I start with this story? There is a lot of pressure in terms of what is going on in the world right now. A lot of people are feeling very distressed. And there's often also pressure in church about church needs to be a certain way and church needs to look a certain way. This has been happening since COVID, by the way, and that church needs to be what it used to be, right? Our life needs to be what it used to be. I need to be who I used to be. I need to be who I think I should be, right? And so when there is somebody that I want to invite to come and speak who feels a little bit out of reach, I feel like I should go all Tony Robbins on them and be like, hey, come and speak for us. We're the best thing in town. This is my confessional. Let me just sit down here. I've known Freddie Ravel. Freddie Ravel, who came and played for us several weeks ago, and people loved him, and he was great, and he's awesome. And he was the music director for Earth, Wind, and Fire. And he's played for Madonna and Al Jarreau to 5,000 people, where they wouldn't let him leave the stage. And I thought, I wonder if this guy is a little maybe out of our league, but I'm going to be all Tony Robbins and say, hey, Freddie, we have a deal for you. I'm going to try and get him to come here to this center through the power of my manipulation, through the power of my, oh, goodness. So, but instead, I decided to be more like the coffee bean and tell the truth. And I said, Freddie, I know you played for Al Jarreau. I know you were Earth, Wind, and Fire's musical director. You played for Madonna. You did something with J-Lo, too, as far as I know. However, if you would like to play for a much smaller crowd for very little money, do I have a job for you? And lo and behold, he said yes. And he showed up, and he touched lives, and he opened hearts. And I have to share with you, too, the backstage energy, which is more important to me than the onstage energy, was so sweet. In that he actually, when he took apart the piano, some of you may know, he kind of took apart the piano and was playing on the strings of it. And he made sure that we had Chris come out here, our regular pianist, come out here and make sure it was okay with him, which I thought was so kind and so considerate. We gave Freddie and his girlfriend and his father, who was here, heart pins. And next thing you know, I see this poster of Freddie where he's wearing a heart pin playing at a fancy schmancy jazz club downtown in Los Angeles, you know, and I sent one to Nipun Mehta and to the ladies who sew the heart pins, and I say, see where your heart pin wound up? Isn't that cool? So this is a murmuration that is happening through the process of letting go, through the process of being the coffee bean, through the process of not trying to be something that I don't even want to be, through the process of just allowing an emergence of something great. It is a murmuration of starlings, which is where all the birds fly in synchronicity, right? And they say that one starling only has a 7-bird reach. One starling communicates only with 7 birds, but then those 7 birds communicate with 7 other birds, and those 7 other birds communicate with 7 other birds, and pretty soon you have this beautiful picture, and that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here, not only with this Freddie Ravel concert that's coming up, and I'm going to beg all of you to come and help us market it and help us fill this place so that more people can know about the good that we do here. But it's happening behind the scenes too. It's happening with a heart pin that is traveling to the vibrato club, Herb Alpert's vibrato club down in Los Angeles, that is then bouncing back to India to tell the heart pin ladies, look at that, look what you sewed. And it's there influencing people in Los Angeles. It is bouncing all over the world. It is coming through us. And that is what a harvest is. And we all get to be part of that. We all get to be part of that through our surrender, through our willingness to abide in the grace, and through our willingness to allow the grace to pour through us. As a seed blooms into the most beautiful flower, first it must break down, crack open, travel through mud without any guarantees. It surrenders to the will of existence. We can be that seed that is breaking open. Is there a place, if there is a place in your life where you feel stuck, where you feel tangled, like my cat in our toilet paper, can you consider that an invitation to surrender? Will you be the carrot, the egg, or the coffee bean, the harvest? There's Freddie Ravel wearing a heart pin. And one of the other principles of heartivism is to behold the Mobius strip. Those of you who know me well know that I am obsessed with the Mobius strip because the Mobius strip to me is one of the best physical representations of reality. A Mobius strip where you're never really sure which is the inner and which is the outside, which is above, which is below. And what I have found in studying this idea of surrender, strength and surrender, that it is a Mobius strip, that our strength brings us surrender, but our surrender brings us infinite strength. Let us abide in that infinite strength now. Let us pray. Whew. All righty. You're not going to tinkle, right? Oh, that was a very personal question, Tinkle. Never mind. Let's pray. How about that? Okay. All right. Just so you know, for our folks online, when most pianists call it noodling, when under the prayers, that little playing stuff, we call it tinkling in this church. Okay. All right. In the spirit of all of that, This is a strange Sunday, y'all. It's a good one. Okay, good. Yeah, I got to shake things up a bit, right? Am I right? Yeah, I'm surrendering. Good plan. Whoever said that, good on you. Thank you. Yeah, we're surrendering. Okay. Let us pray. All right. Turning within to that power and that presence, that one life that is the life of spirit. We open our hearts now. We become that seed that is planted here in the good earth. And we open our hearts to know that the power and the spirit of surrender pours through us. That spirit has surrendered to become matter so that matter can surrender to become spirit. We unify with that energy right here and right now in the Mobius strip that it is, knowing that our strength to surrender, our willingness to surrender, our will to surrender brings us greater strength, infinite power, infinite presence, more than we could ever imagine. We abide in that place, we let go, and we look at our lives. We look at our lives to see if there's anything, whatever comes up, anything that we can choose to surrender right here and right now. And we just exhale. And we let it go. We let it go. We exhale and we let it go. And we understand that if we need to, we can pick it up again. But for now, let us just breathe in, welcoming whatever it is that is coming up for us. And then we exhale and just let it go. Let it float off, float away. Let it be. Let us do this now for the world, knowing that there are challenges everywhere in the world, all over the world. People are struggling, that there is suffering, that there is the appearance of pain. And so we look at ourselves and we look at our reaction to that and we hold that just for a moment, welcoming our understanding of it, welcoming what we think should happen, and then we just let it go. Let it go. Let go and allow spirit. Allow spirit. Spirit is already there, but we give spirit the permission and the freedom to circulate at a greater level through this thing that we are holding, because it is taking place in us. So we allow it to circulate in us, and we allow it to circulate and bless the entire world through our circulation, through our willingness, through our surrender. I'm so grateful that lives are uplifted and transformed by this time together, certainly through the words, but most importantly through the community that we co-create together as we listen to our hearts and as we listen to others and as we open ourselves to be that place, that heartivist place that transforms inwardly and outwardly. How beautiful it is to know that. How beautiful it is to witness that transformation in ourselves and in others, and to know it as the eternal nature of spirit expressing through all of us. And so I'm grateful, so grateful for this time together, grateful to know this beautiful transformative force that is working through everything. And with a heart so filled with gratitude, I bless all paths to God, churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, agnostics, atheists, fundamentalists. I bless all beings everywhere. And with a heart filled with such grace and such love, I release these words into the divine mystery of the law, and together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. All righty. So, this is our time for offering, so I invite you in that spirit of surrender, if you would, to just breathe with me and make this a sacred ritual of letting go and letting abundance flow through you and to you. And in the spirit of that abundance, let us read our offering affirmation together. We trust in spirit. Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are. We offer this gift. It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion. Our gift blesses many and returns to us multiplied in miraculous ways so that we may give again. And so it is. Thank you.
Oh, hello. Okay. Thank you again for having me do the music today. I know I'm not Chris, but my heart is full of gratitude to be asked to do this. So the first song is not by me. It is by Dido, and it is about surrendering, letting go of who you are not. And this song is about surrendering to who you are and your truth. And this, I wrote this song, and I'm going to share it with you now. We get what we get 'cause we do what we do. That's how it all unfolds. It's up to you if it feels right or it's true. Baby, your heart will know. Oh, oh, oh. Something waits on the other side. Stay right here in the meantime. In this life, live this life. What if it's better than you'd ever expect, and you find what you need? To walk through fire, we just keep taking steps. Baby, your heart will lead. Oh, something waits on the other side. Stay right here in the meantime. In this life, live this life. Oh, 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 oh. Stay right here and live this life. So if the darkness tries to swallow you up, or if you're far from home, the light inside of you is always enough. Baby, you're not alone. Oh, something waits on the other side here in the meantime. In this life, live this life.
What? Oh, okay. Alrighty.
I get to give you the extra announcements and make a plug for the classes. We're having some fabulous classes coming up. Energy in Action. Thank you. With Susan Burrell, and having taken this class before, what I know is understanding energy and how it works within you and your spiritual life. Susan is gifted in this process. So bring yourself in. It's a live class. It starts August the 18th, which is tomorrow. And they will not meet on Labor Day, so don't worry about your Labor Day holiday. So come and understand how the energy and your emotions and your spiritual life all meld together. So come for that. Spiritual economics starts Tuesday. And people have been asking me, so what the heck is economics that's not like a math class that I almost failed getting my degree? Economics, the study of scarcity and choice. Scarcity and choice. So spiritual spiritual economics is the exchange of energy, parity. I think prosperity and abundance is an important piece of our life, and particularly if you've come from a prior religion that emphasized scarcity and I call it grumbling. I took spiritual economics. I've got the old copy of the book as a Unity student when I first re-entered a spiritual life from abandoning one for a number of years. So I've took it here, and this book, this principle, helped me get through losing a business, some sickness, some different things that have happened in my life. These principles can help you move through your own life of abundance and scarcity, how you really move through that as a spiritual being, having a human experience that needs to pay the rent. So this is the new book that's in the bookstore. In the bookstore. Starts Tuesday, and I'm inviting all of you out there in Airland or online land. This is now online and in person. So we're going to be in person, and you're going to be online with us. So we're going to include you as a hybrid class. It's our first experiment with it. Reverend Jennifer, who's our tech person, for you to be able to have the opportunity to get to know the people who are here at the center, instead of when you're on Zoom, you're just kind of isolated over there with your own Zoom group. So our Zoom group is going to be included in our live class. Next is fabulous. If you have not attended a Bill Matthews class, you want to go there. If you believe in the Tony Robbins, the get it together, do it now, move on. Bill is the person. Just say it. No more Sundays. 90 minutes of your life to know how to confront the number one regret of the dying. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself and not a life that is expected of me through others. So he's going to use guided meditation, reflective journaling, and powerful language. All of these pieces are very important. Having taught an elder quest class, this is true. One of the regrets of the dying is that I didn't live my life. I lived it to please others. Get over it and come to Bill's class. Fellowship hall here. The food, if you don't like it, bring some. Bring food. Bring whatever you like. Share it with others because somebody else will like it also. Bring food. Got it? And then I'm inviting you to come down front after the service. If you've got a trouble on your heart, as they used to say in the Southern Church, if your heart's troubled today, come down front and let someone ease that trouble with a prayer practitioner angel right up front here. And then come have coffee and fellowship with us afterwards. And I appreciate your attendance, and I hope you come to all the classes because it's the way you make your life spiral up. Even as Reverend Bonnie's been in this as long as she has, she's still doing the spiral up. Confront it, move on with a class. Now, what do I do next? It ended.
Do this affirmation together. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, here. So we're going to read this together, and then we're going to sing. Right?
Okay.
So come on up. Stand up if you would. And let us read together, aligning
our hearts,
our brains, and our minds. We are love, we share love, we serve love. Thank you for our lives, and so it is. Here we go. Here we go.
I want to sing, sing, sing. I want to dance, dance, dance. I want to sing, I want to dance. Hallelujah. When those gates are open wide,
I'll be standing by your side. I want to sing, I want to dance. Hallelujah.
swing
wanna sing, sing, sing. I wanna dance, dance, dance. I wanna sing, I wanna dance.
Carry me
Hallelujah.
home. Swing
Gates are open wide. I'll be standing by your side. I wanna sing, I wanna
Carry
dance.
me
Hallelujah.
Oh, when
I
the
wanna sing,
saints
sing, sing.
go
I wanna
marching
dance,
in.
dance, dance.
Oh,
I
when the
wanna sing,
saints
I
go
wanna dance.
marching in.
Hallelujah.
Oh, Lord, I wanna be
I'll be standing by your side.
when
I
the
wanna sing,
saints go
I wanna dance.
marching
Hallelujah.
in.
So it is. Thanks, everybody.
Amen.
Namaste. Thank you.